새벽 5시 10분이 돼갑니다. The message of hope. When you in fact have done is confirm the prophetic writing. All the disciples cut and ran. Principles of language learning and teaching. Marketing's theory and UG perspective provide a more sophisticated understanding of difficulty in learning a second language than we had previously from the early formation of the CAH. Depraved, your story is far from over, and the best is yet to come. Your story is far from over, and the best is yet to come. Your story is far from over. Winning the answers. Confronting 74 of the toughest questions in business today. Remember, any experience you get at a good company, around smart people, is worthwhile, and a good company's reputation give you an excellent career credential down the road if you need it. Your best life now. Enlarge your vision. Find the strength through adversity. It does not mandate that laboratories consistently lock their doors so secure their freezer tanks. Airbnb after sales changes included in Culture Ministry's new pitch. However, the regulation received criticism for being nearly impossible to regulate and limiting new businesses from being developed in the tourism industry. Job interviews. Winning job interviews. Will they give you other names for your network? Talk like Ted. You are welcome to do it, we said with a smile. Father God, help me trust that you are bigger than any fear I have. Eat that frog. 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. They know what they do that really makes a difference in their work, and they concentrate on that task or area of activity exclusively. Unwanted guest. David knew that if he didn't ask God for help to fight sin, his dream of living a pleasing life before him would turn into a battle with the unwanted guest of sin and rebellion. The logic of life, the rational economics of an irrational world. But when I am up in the lakes It's of no use to know exactly where in London Seamus is. Creativity. Indeed, William James outlined manufactures of mystical and convergent experiences that a psychiatrist likely would label as bipolar affective illness, hyperacusis, ecstasy, hallucinatory phenomena, knowledge perceived as full of importance and significance, or loss of worry, a passion of willingness, a sense of well-being, altered perception, and a sense of perceiving truth not known before. Tell me when. When do birds migrate? When the northern hemisphere is turned toward the sun, the countries north of the equator have their summer season, and the countries south of the equator have their winter season. Don't sweat the small stuff at work. Simple ways to minimize stress and conflict while bringing out the best in yourself and others. My waitress was so bad that for a moment I thought I was being set up with a hidden camera to see if I would sweat the small stuff. Choose them wisely so that they become things. The system works. Imagine it. Move towards it. Has to happen. It always works. The unconventionals. Waze has done much more than create awareness of its product or even reframe how its consumers choose navigation apps. The 100 simple secrets of the best app of life. Make your second app the best app. And now, she says she never wants to stop. It takes an effort to come here, but after exercising, I feel 100% better, she says. Improve your marketing to grow your business. Insight and innovation that drive business and brand growth. Internet distribution has restructured the travel industry in many ways. What they teach you at Harvard Business School. Their involvement in Wall Street's inside trading scandal of the 1980s prompted the then head of the SEC, John Shad, to fund an ethics chair at the business school. Lose the weight, and find your path back to health. Like potatoes and rice, there is potential for blood sugar effects, especially if serving size exceed a half cup. Ask Andy Gibbon, learning to manifest your desire. If we were standing in your physical shoes, our attention would be upon bringing ourselves into alignment with the desire and preference that we have launched. We would consciously feel our way into alignment. The first step to recovery is admitting that we have a problem. Jim, the leader of the 50th ward in the city's conservative-leaning Northeast, said he had at least 7 Biden signs on his front lawn. You can work your own miracles. It would have been most natural and logical for Milo C. Jones to have accepted his affliction as a knockout blow from which he never would recover, and no one would have blamed him if he had done so. But he reacted to his handicap in a positive manner, which yielded him a better working relationship with the power of his mind. Knockout blow. Learned optimism, how to change your mind and your life. The second is to dispute them. The euphemism obscures the circumstances that drive many to the trade. Originals, how nonconformists move the world. But resolving the issue itself is in some ways less important than understanding the path to resolving such things in the future, and agreeing on that, Jack explains, no one has any monopoly on the truth. I had been removed from the company for 10 years, so I don't know, Miss Kay said. Damn good advice for people with talent. How to unleash your creative potential by America's master communicator. When the moon comes out, ESPN is in your face. If you create truly great advertising, you can go far above and beyond the wildest expectation of your client. Jot down a few notes about how you see your identity. Take back America, a battle plan, the stakes, the targets, the strategy, and one you can do. But he's become a liberal during his years in Washington, and it's time to bring him home. The National Park Service plans to restore Tubman's Brick Home in partnership with Harriet Tubman Home, the non-profit established by the National AME Zion Church that owns and manages the property. The bridge reopened at 7 a.m. last Thursday. Read George Eliot and Jane Austen. Start with the masters. To be happy, marriage matters more than career. Yet parents send the opposite message to the young. The watchman's rattle, sinking our way out of extinction. In truth, depending on how much information our brain process, absorb, and inventory, we sentence ourselves to shopping in either mega warehouse stacked to the ceiling with the options or a small boutique with a limited selection. Communities of color throughout America are plagued disproportionately with sanitation problems. Ending the management illusion, how to drive business results using the principles of behavioral finance. Every line item is the responsibility of some manager. Absence of mind, absence of mind. The terrors and the passions that lie behind these philosophies go much further than the philosophies themselves in anticipating and accounting for the extremes of modern European history. The kid's book of question. What about not getting any new clothes for the year? How to stand in your truth and create the future you deserve. Please do not make the mistake of not saving for retirement on the assumption you'll be able to work forever, even if that's the one you want. Watching coding supposed to be one of the can't miss careers of the digital age. Can't miss career. Can't miss the career. The law of happiness, how spiritual wisdom and modern science can change your life. Susan is overall a happy person. I think most who know Rachel would say that Rachel is not. Psychology for Dummies. Your fun and easy guide to the basics of human behavior. Modern abnormal psychology in this chapter defining abnormality. The following enact is based on a fictional person. Hard Tadas, smarts, guts, and luck, what it takes to be an entrepreneur and build a great business. What follows are our wisdom manifesto. These are time-tested practices pulled together here as a list of great hits, wisdom manifestos, the 8 wisdom manifestos, the 3 golden rules. Be the best at something. soul survivors. Additional information about things to do and see in Korea can be found at the following site. Life is tremendous. Do you want to be happy, productive, healthy, and secure? Enthusiasm makes the difference. Just walk across the room for session on simple steps, pointing people to face. Play the session for teaching segment on the DVD. Use the space below for note. Video observation. Be a G9 member while Biden is in office. G7 countries like Germany and Japan are also not free from Trump's wins and scorns, but they don't face the extreme threat that South Korea does, wins and scorns. Twinkle, sharing your face one light at a time. Accept others the way they are. Korean Hospital Association has issued a statement in support of the Samsung joins Global 6G AI Integration Alliance. A total of 10 global tech companies, including Samsung Electronics, NVIDIA, and Microsoft, have formed an alliance to advance 6G technology at Mobile World Congress 2024. MWC 2024, according to Samsung on Monday. The 21 indispensable qualities of a leader, becoming the person others will want to follow. That lasted about a month. Legal experts note that drones are highly regulated by federal, state, and local laws that make them subject to claims of trespass and privacy violation. UN Qatar is at the center. Judicial body weighs in on 2 cases bearing on volatile Middle East issues. You don't have to be ruthless to win. In addition to launching the conscious capitalism movement, Mackey and Sisodia, through this book, pioneered the philosophy of obedience as a driver for good in the world. Influencer, the power to change anything, working in isolation, had atrophied. Their ability to interact effectively no longer did employees work and play well with their friends. Christ-centered preaching, redeeming the expository sermon. The initial concrete allows the preacher to shine the light of Scripture into some dark corner of life. Certain things mentally strong parents don't do. They don't feel responsible for their child's emotion. Teach the preschoolers to let their imagination run wild. Some parents can stand to see a child put a bathtub on the roof of the dollhouse. Korean postpartum care. In traditional Korean postpartum care, mothers are advised to refrain from getting their hands wet and stay warm indoors for a specific period after giving birth to enable their full recovery. How long is this period? How pleasure works, the new science of why we like what we like. We shouldn't push the analogy between stories and language too far, too far. The 17 indisputable laws of teamwork. Embrace them and empower your team. The next thing he did was to work to break the old bureaucracy that had developed over the years. The formula to achieve bigger goals through accelerating teamwork. When you begin saying no to people, obligation, and the situation you don't feel fully aligned with in your gut, then and only then will you be able to expand your competence and purpose. Strategies of the Serengeti, where having the right strategy is a matter of life and death. Have messed up altogether. We've all been there at some point in our lives. Sex and love addicts are anonymous. What I have learned, however, is that by sharing this with someone, I can diffuse the urges and block the negative downward spiral that make the active addiction seem like the only way out. Diffuse. How to thrive in the digital age. The Enlightenment, the democratization, and mass culture have long since diluted such tendencies. more games to play with toddlers. Pick 2 or 3 movements that you can do with your child, for example, walking, running, and jumping. Everyday millionaires. 80% of the exercise 3 or more times a week compared to 55% of the general population. Battle hymn of the tiger mother, Coco. At least that's what Jed has already suspected. 50 Psychology Classics. Gibbonese distrust. Distrust of the claims of the survey. It is ironic that the name Pavlov has come to be associated with psychology. Unlike the hidden job market, that's the nature of work. That's the nature of work in Washington. Healthy aging, challenges and solution. Certainly, until now, no one has made the case in the mainstream gerontologic literature that the welfare paradigm is not valid and that the entitlement paradigm is a much better model of reality. Pour your heart into it. Then from that core we branched out, entering nearby spoke the market, including smaller cities and suburban locations with demographic similar to our typical customer mix. What your fourth grader needs to know: fundamentals of a good fourth grade education, mathematics. Texas challenge to school drive, movement to shift funding to private education runs into hostility in rural areas. Orchestra. An orchestra is a large group of musicians playing instruments together. I wanted to help, and since there was no public transportation, I rollerbladed more than 100 blocks to get there. Effective communication key. I am interested in joining a multinational company in Korea. How much English is used? How much of the English is used in the office, and how good should my English be to do well in a multinational company? Everything belongs. The gift of contemplative prayer. The greatest barrier to the next level of conscious or consciousness is our comfort and control at the one we are at now. Breaking intimidation. Say no without feeling guilty. Be secure without the approval of man. The next chapter will show you the difference between a motive that will help you stand and one that will make you sink. The art of talking to anyone, essential people skill for success in any situation. Take it easy. Take care now. How to handle your emotion. We demolish arguments and every pretension that set itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take the captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. What's next? Follow your passion and find your dream job. Typically a week or two long, this intense training session with the professionals allow you to accumulate experience while you are still working in your current job. Limitless of the mind. Part of the huge success of our mass camp, which resulted in an increase in student achievement by the equivalent of 2.8 years of school, came about because we used a multidimensional approach. Winners never cheat. A self-made billionaire speak out on honesty and generosity, even in difficult times. The surest path, the surest to success is one where others work with you. One simple idea. Talking to someone who has done it before. 53% of Gen Z workers want 4-day work week. Among those who answered in favor, 51% said that the amount they would accept as a pay cut was less than 5%. YouTube secret. First, when you create consistent videos, it's like hanging out with a friend. Start your own import-export business, your step-by-step guide to success. Acknowledge your market. Acknowledge your mistakes. Surviving the storm. At the top of the boom, big companies are going to be dominating mass market, using their mass marketing skills and the economy of scale to generate tremendous earning power. Holy discontent. What am I doing in my own country? Execution, the discipline of getting things done. We need distribution partners that add value for ZZ. Simple, conquering the crisis of complexity. At the Simplicity event, Philips was already showing the impact of this new philosophy on future product in the prototype stages. Conscious living, how to create a life of your own design. They are afraid of disapproval. So they do whatever they can do, avoid it. The secret art of feeling and growing rich. I nodded. rich brother, richer sister. Two different paths to God, money, and the happiness, heaven, hell, and happiness. As adults, we do not know if there is a heaven or hell after death. After death, your idea incorporated. Create appropriate brand messaging. Mismeasuring our lives why GDP doesn't add up. While the choice between these approaches is ultimately a normative decision, they all point to the importance of a number of factors that go beyond the command of resources. Loving God, please help me to love as you love me. Radiant Living 31 Insight to Create an Awesome Life. Radiant Decree. Today I release the crutches of self doubt, low self esteem, wavering confidence, and purposelessness. The art of talking to anyone, to open travel, instead of broadening the mind, merely lengthens the conversation. Leadership isn't for cowards. We need to be committed. Obama's challenge, America's economic crisis, and the power of a transformative presidency. Ever since then, conservatives proposing tax cuts as a recovery measure have pointed to liberal John Kennedy as a role model. Forced to break all the rules, what the world's greatest managers do differently. The strengths of the interview, the basic routine. American Roots, readings on U.S. cultural history, rock bottom. The 1930s were the toughest economic times in U.S. history. One man remembers what it was like, rock bottom, rock bottom. Getting rich your own way, achieve all your financial goals faster than you ever thought possible. When you learn how to tap into that enormous reserve capacity, you'll be able to do anything you really want in life. You'll begin to perform at genius level. You'll begin to perform at genius level. The average person, therefore, has 90% or more of their potential in reserve, unused. U.S. lead soft landing for global economy. Many nations experience receding inflation without widely feared recession. Speaking to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce on Tuesday, we, the European Commissioner for Trade, said that Europe had been working to address its dependence on Russian fossil fuels, but that cutting those ties came at a cost. Came at a cost. Third place, transition. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Why continue to resist coming from a no-lose position? Why it had struck such a nerve, though she couldn't say. I'd have to be a market researcher, wouldn't I? Wouldn't I? Mentoring 101, what every leader needs to know. How do I help them do better work? Equip the people you mentor for professional success. God's blueprint. Love never fails. As children grow and begin to comprehend the meaning of special events, take time to discuss what we are thankful for on Thanksgiving and spend the family together in prayer. 21 ways to finding peace and happiness, overcoming anxiety, fear, and discontentment every day. We too can declare in faith that we believe it's God's will for our situation because He created us in His image and encourage us to practice doing what He does. The winner's way, a proven method for achieving your personal best in any situation. Move yourself beyond I think, therefore I am too. I am what I think. The language of belief. I am what I think. I am what I think I am. Piecing together the personalities in your workplace. Hepburn was 11 when the Germans invaded Holland. The power of eye contact, your secret for success in business, love, and life. For a few minutes, sales coaching, making the great leap from sales manager to sales coach. A powerful tool for building winning teams. The softer side of negotiation, how to win before the bargaining even begins, how to succeed in new situation. Starting food truck business, food truck experience. Food and catering trucks are specialized vehicles. The way to black belt, a comprehensive guide to rapid rock solid recharge. Rock solid recharge. A training manual for winning the battle. His goal is to generate uncertainty and fear, which, if received, will overthrow your facing God. How to connect with nature. A photograph of our school days will not whisk us back to that time, as fast as the smell of cut grass and lawnmower exhaust was, but faster still, the musty dank of the changing room. DANK, dank. What would Google do? Google is not just a company, it is an entirely new way of thinking. And the real estate alone doesn't explain why Japan's banks as late as 2003 still carried non-performing Lawns are mounting. Oprah Winfrey speaks. Secrets of great rainmakers. The key to success and wealth. Rainmakers. The skin clung to the bones like wet parchment. One thing that opened my mind was a book by William Porter, Alcohol Explained. Alcohol Explained. Mixed emotion will lead to confusion regarding a financial situation or professional position. Dr. A and Dr. P said many medically eligible patients were either not getting access to the drug or declining it. A humble Christmas. Too many people miss the silver lining, miss the silver lining because they are expecting gold. The leader's guide to problem solving. Outsmart your own biases. Learning in the thick of it. After action reviews identify past mistakes but rarely enhance future performance. Secret lives of ants. But in spite of the ants' best efforts to chase these flies away, some ants fall victim to this parasite. The power of now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. The essence of all things is emptiness. Revelation for everyone. There is a whole spectrum of speculation at this point, ranging from those who see these passages as prophecies of actual warfare in the Middle East. If the locust can be seen as helicopters, the horses of verses 17 to 19 could be seen as armored vehicle or tanks, right through to those who stress that the truth reality to which these images point is entirely spiritual, with the torture and the threat being carried out in the heart's mind, imagination, and the conscience of rebellious and simple human. daily rituals, how artists work, how architects are the work,